German people have white hair, Italian people can live without pasta, girls like dogs, boys like cars. Have you ever asked yourself what a stereotype is? I want to give you a simple definition. Stereotype is defined as a fixed image or set characteristic that a lot of people believe represent a particular kind of person or thing. Our brain has excellent cognitive abilities, but all of them are limited, and that's why we can't compare it to a PC. You can think of stereotype as a mental shortcut in order to make sense of the reality that we meet every day. So, basically, we need to have easily and fast explanation about all the things we have around in order to reassure our mind and not to put it under stress with a million of questions. Try to consider our mind as an archive. It categorizes people, things, and events in different folders, where it can easily find information, the correct information, every time it needs it. Now, stereotypes can be positive or negative. When they are positive, they can be excellent mental strategies. For example, when we think about summer, think about sun, ice cream, bikinis, and so on. Or, for example, when we think about Christmas, think about the snows, Christmas trees, snowmen, Santa Claus, and so on. But, unfortunately, there are also a lot of negative stereotypes, and these are kind of stereotypes that categorize an entire group of people under a specific label without looking at the exception. For example, when we say that all Russian people drink vodka instead of water, or that all Italian people are mafiosi. So, I want to introduce you a new definition, a definition that underlines a difference that not many people know about. The slight and sometimes imperceptible difference between a negative stereotype and a prejudice. I talk about stereotypes like a means that our mind uses to make sense of the reality that we have all around. Instead, a prejudice is a natural way we use to protect ourselves from something or someone we don't know. So a prejudice is an opinion that comes before the real knowledge. It's connected with our fears and phobias, in particular with the fear of the different, that bring us to protect our social group in order to survive. Moreover, it's interesting to know how prejudice, most of the time, change our behavior in front of a particular situation. Try to imagine this situation. It's evening and you are having a walk. Maybe you are going back home from work, maybe you are going back home from a friend's house, or maybe you're just having a walk. You are alone with nothing around you, only the light of the lamp and no sound. You are having a walk when you met a black guy. Maybe he's just going back home like you are doing, but certainly your first thought will be that this guy is a bad person, and you start shaking and walking far away from him, and you look at him scared of death. This behavior could probably annoy the guy that maybe will accidentally get angry at you, and it will seem threatening, thus confirming your idea. In fact, there are studies which prove that we remember better the situation that confirm our belief. A prejudice works like this and close our brain in a cage. It's impossible to delete a prejudice. It's something that has roots on our mind. But our brain doesn't do a whole job alone. A big part in creating our prejudice is being made by the famous media. Since we were a child, toys, books, cartoons, advertisement, and so on, all have a role in modeling our mind. Think about your toys, the kind of story you read, or the kind of cartoon you watch. An example can help you to understand how much we are influenced. I was 14 years old and I had to start the high school. The school was quite near my house, but not enough to reach it with a simple walk. So I had two possibilities to reach it. The first one is going by bike, but the problem is that the road I had to take was a bit dangerous for a young and distracted girl as I was. The second option is using the public transport. But this would have taken me away a lot of precious time from studying. So my dad suggested I use my brother's motorbike. It sounded as a crazy offer, but it wasn't, because driving a motorbike have teach me to pay attention to the road. Anyway, I never forgot all the irony about women not able to drive a motorbike, or shocked look saw me on my motorbike. What I want to say is that nowadays, people that have grown up learning that motorbikes are only driven by men, even if they don't think it's so, they have this idea planted on their unconscious. And I keep seeing it on people that watching me shocked or surprised on my motorbike. My situation was absolutely normal, but we are so much influenced by our prejudice, and because of that we are not able to accept what is different from what media and society say to us. Sometimes I stop to think, are my parents' particular case too? Are they too different as they allow me to choose? So, my final question is, can we let a prejudice or change our opinion without continuing to feel that something is wrong? Can we find the freedom that my parents have found? I'm going to show you two possible solutions. The first one is think differently from the crowd. Most of the time, it's the fear to be different that leads us to accept all that people tell us. We have to create for ourselves new and different models in order to extend our mind and learn to accept more situations. The second one is about getting to know more and having more experience. We have to study and travel in order to know more and feel less scared about what we don't know. Only this way we'll not let prejudice put our intelligence on cage. Remember, prejudice is ignorance zone, and they are terrible illnesses, hard to fight. I'd like to summarize what I told you with this Albert Einstein's quote: "It's easier to break an atom than a prejudice." Thank you.